suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples.
Is not why you've come? Because you discovered our recent larceny at the greenhouse?
How coincidental. When we've finished here, your fellows will call your death the same. The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. You must have a weak mind to have fallen prey to such dubious marketing. I bet you don't even know half of what's in what you consume. The horror of it. Starving? Hardly. We have greater stores of strength than you suppose. This hunger is a momentary distraction, nothing more. If you are conniving for some concession of weakness, you will be a long time waiting. Enough! We know what is expected of us, and we have readied ourselves to meet death in all its personas. Have you? I suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though, spare me such timid. Of course, I know why you're really here. The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy... Starving? Hardly.
Such intimidation tactics will not work on me, Invader.
Big favor here. I knew someone, or something, had been absconding with food from the greenhouse, but never in a million skips would I have guessed it were stowaways. Guess I had this mystery all wrong. A small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. She was. Yeah. Oh, that feels good to say aloud, even if it hurts too. Romantic entanglements ain't exactly encouraged between troopers, especially in the same division. Supposedly compromises our decision-making in the field. But I digress. Thanks for your help, and for listening to my languishments. Glad someone else might remember her now, too.
Knock off the funny business. Takes all sorts.
Juliana. Oh, my Juliana. Even though I now rank among the Protectorate's foes, I hoped you would return to me. Every night I would sneak out of Fairfield, despite the danger, desperate to find you. Hoping you would see fit to join your wife. Yet no one has heard from you since you went to the Skycutter facility. Not in 2 weeks. I can only assume the worst. I don't think I can stay in this town any longer. Perhaps if I return to suffer the Protectorate's justice, I shall at least learn what became of you. And if you are gone, I hope I shall be executed. Then at least we shall be together.
has some chic putting the Earth Directorate symbol on her wall after everything she's done.
Would pulverizing them suffice? No, I could liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically. Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say I'm perhaps a bit on edge. Folk here have grown weary, shall we say, with the war effort, and with avoiding Carr and the minister's would-be fisticuffs. I would never imply such a thing. I'm sure the minister and Officer Carr have only our best interests at heart. Though I must admit, their continuing quarrels give me trepidation. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. Because I was Protectorate. Once. I defected to Andes the second I could. But that's not the point of this conversation. Not when our leaders cannot reach an accord. One wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. Oh dear. I rather hoped that Copernicus rolled off the tongue a sight better than designation C0P3R. I suppose I'll ensure he responds to both in any case. Well, I was a subject once. Despite my talents, the plan dictated that I should be relegated to programming cleaning mechs. Bah. But then, Auntie's Choice came along and offered to transform our lives for the better. I chose to accept. And look where I am today. Over the last year, I have climbed the rungs of my division through the sheer merit of my work. I have finally earned the respect I was always due. Poor things. They either fought to the last or chose to flee. It's regrettable, but some folk just aren't ready to embrace change. All they knew was being told how to live. They couldn't imagine any other way. Ask any of the other Protectorate subjects who converted, and they'd echo my words. When one can allow their ambitions to show, that is true freedom. Why do you assume I had anyone I could consider as such? My parents returned to the void long ago. No siblings, no children. I am the sole bearer of my name. As for friends, few cared for a janitor who talked to herself and preferred her books to praising the sovereign. Couldn't possibly understand what it's like to be seen as nothing. Then finally be afforded the opportunity to prove your worth. In any case, I do hope I've satisfied your curiosity. The war effort and liberating the rest of the Protectorate waits for no one, you understand?
The cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. It seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. The complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I could only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
I can believe this. Forgive me if I understand any of this. DeVries sold us out for what? Because of a few equations? Some dots and lines on a graph? Good fucking law. I mean, she wasn't a damn scientician. She said it herself. She didn't understand all of it, the math. So what was she thinking? How can you be so even-tempered about this? I know you didn't know her like I did. Like I thought I did, but she betrayed us. She killed our friends, Commander. Damn it! I never wanted to talk about this. I wanted to just leave it alone. Told myself, no point in dredging up the past. Should have known it wouldn't rest. DeVries may have saved me on Triangulum, but I wasn't the only one looked up to her. Lots of the other recruits talked about her too, back at the academy. I thought she was the pinnacle of what an agent should be. Tough, smart, ain't a job she couldn't get done. And better and faster than everyone else. Inspired all of us. Reckon so. Some might embarrassing how much worship we all put on her name. You put a tool in my hand, I would have built monuments to her. Figured my own career could be just that. Doing for others what she done for me. Never imagined I'd actually get to work with her. Me, some nobody from Triangulum. And then she betrayed us. Tried telling myself it was an accident, but now we've got the cold, hard proof it wasn't. Law only knows why she trusted the Order's numbers. The Order of this Sin is just another sect of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. The grand plan and all that used to be part of the Protectorate before their big falling out. Believe they can predict the future or some such, but nice plan-abiding folks don't kill for the betterment of their cause. I can't believe the Order plotted our murder. But 10 years ago, I would have said the same about DeVries. I mean, she always struck me as so pragmatic, real sensible-like. Never figured she'd go all in on predictions from a bunch of monks. Sure, but why act alone instead of reporting her concerns to the brass? What made her believe the Earth Directorate would dismiss the threat? I don't take issue with folks clinging to whatever keeps them afloat. Math, science, the Grand Architect, void, even capital. I know how most colonies run, but when those beliefs start to require hurting others, even killing them, that's worth questioning their virtue. If only DeVries had shared in our good judgment, huh? Whatever her plans, she started putting them in place while stationed undercover at the Vox Relay. Our next point of order ought to be getting in there, Reckon there's gotta be someone on the island who can help us with that. Let's keep asking around. Friendly like.
Keep 'em coming. I can do this all day.
Gonna need a bigger storeroom for all these orders. Let me guess. Gun keeps jamming, armor don't quite fit snug as you like. State your division and I'll get you outfitted. Quick and proper, or your next provision's free. If you're not with a specific division, I'm supposed to take down a name before offering my wares. I'll just make it up for expediency's sake. All bits spend the same to me. As Chief Replenishment Officer, it's my privileged duty to furnish our brave troops with all of their wartime essentials. You could say I put the ration in liberation. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply. As a friendly reminder, all sales are final, especially ammunition.
folks must have been bored out of their skulls before we showed up. Now life in Fairfield's a real shindig.
Marginal improvement, still improvement, I suppose.
We sure fixed them. 40 damn right.
Trainee Lindell, be so kind as to remind us all what the first rule of the range is.
Guns are weapons, not toys.
And do we aim weapons at colleagues or at our own unprotected upper stories, even in jest? Hint, we do not. I can assure you they are. Terrible is not a word I would use.
Fancy I'm getting the knack of this. Pretty sure if I hold him right, I can balance a third pistol between my other two. What do you think, Simpson?
However, it is accurate. The soldiers before you are former Protectorate subjects, mainly of the farming variety. No knowledge of combat. Scarce experience wielding anything deadlier than a wrench. They're accustomed to being told what to do, when to do it, and even how to think. I'm not one to idle in the path of a good faith effort to accelerate education. The faster we can get more soldiers in the field, the better. There's just one problem. I don't know you. So, respectfully, I must ask, what do you feel qualifies you to give instruction to my recruits? You do have a certain confidence about you that is presently absent in these recruits. Very well, I'll allow you to speak with them. Don't make me regret this. Attention trainees, guns down. That means you too, Simpson. We have a guest who has a few words to share.
You have anything to say to us? No, but it's probably what we deserve. The others are right. We're not cut out for this.
In the short amount of time we've shared, I've already observed a great deal of improvement in each and every one of you.
You really think so? Gee, imagine how fearsome we'll be in a month.
Precisely. Anticipate, then react. Now, if Auntie's faith in you is not misplaced, then prove it, trainees! Weapons at the ready! And fire! Well done, trainees! Well done! It appears your words have had their intended effect. Thank law. The trainees seem quite taken with you, too. As I suspect they would riot if I let you leave without a reward. Please, accept this revolver with Auntie's thanks. Plan willing, I will have as much success deploying your wisdom with my next batch of recruits.
Let's not wait.
Capital shot,
Guns
recruit.
are weapons, not tools.
Hell your wares elsewhere.
You're blocking bullet practice.
If you're not a go-getter, then go away. Go consume like a good consumer.
Stop that scrounging around.
Do I look approachable? Because I'm not.
Business is always good when a war's on. What do you need this time? Good eye. Though I'd say they're better than nice. Got more armor than a hammer claw, but better flight handling than the old clunkers we used to stock. If things had turned out differently, it might be someone else standing here. Don't have the aptitude for flight, apparently. But this role suits me fine. I like the upward mobility, in the metaphorical business sense, I mean. I heard you got the bug, huh? Huh. All right, come on. Let's give you a quick tour. She's a beauty up close, ain't she? More cylinders than you can count powering her engines. She uses her shape to drop like a stone during landing. Counters headwinds pretty well, too. I stand here all day just admiring. And there, you see, the fuselage has been modified to endure the pressure of repeated entries, which is... but listen to me blathering on. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply you. No one here but you, me, and several tons of well-oiled machinery. What's this about? Now, there's an odd request. If you've got queries about my stock, I'm sure I could answer them for you. Wait one rapt-gone moment. Did Miss Galloway put you up to this? She asked me for terminal access not even a fortnight ago. I'd call it coincidence if it didn't feel so much like conspiracy. I can't for the life of me adduce a reason as to why a greenhouse manager would be interested in military inventory. What kind of plants are we growing in there? All the while, I thought they were growing healthy little comestibles. They were planting the seeds for psychological warfare. Literally. Shows what I know. All right. Ms. Galloway can have access, but only because I believe in not biting the hand that feeds. Or, in this case, grows. Keycard to access the terminals on the boxes right outside my stores there. Feel free to nab it.
Hello again. You get that inventory issue sorted? And while this might be a tad fewer bits than you were hoping for, remember, you've also made allies that you'll find all across Arcadia. Just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle near the middle. Like the one you passed on your way in. Find that rose, and you find Sub Rosa. Just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle. Like the one you passed on your way in. Find Sub Rosa.
What's all this talk I'm always hearing about middle and lower management?
The middle managers assign all the hard work to the lower managers and pass that work on down to the bottom runners. Fine with it as long as they get their bonuses signed off.
Schedule an appointment if you need to talk to me.
Welcome, welcome. See anything you like? Well, if it isn't a new face in Fairfield. What I meant to say is that we now have the new improved Purple Berry Crunch. Now with 10% more flavor. Or was it crunch? I'm sure you'll find something that'll fit your liking. Hello again. I don't think we were properly introduced. I'm Arthur Crombie. Welcome to More Perfect Goods, a proud Auntie's Choice franchise. I've been working the store going on a few weeks now. Got promoted shortly after Auntie's Choice liberated Fairfield. Still finding my stride with all the marketing suavities, as you witnessed. Advertising's been a right struggle to get a hold of. Well, advertising is an essential part of my business. But I haven't got any new products to advertise. Just the same stock I had yesterday. And the day before that. According to the guide, in situations such as this, I'm to consult my marketing department for new copy. Except I don't have one of those either. I didn't want to seem discourteous by asking. I still sometimes forget this isn't the Protectorate. Maybe I will put in the request. That'll sure show some initiative. Thanks for all your help. Now, is there anything I can do for you? Thanks for noticing. All part of the presentation, of course. Think success, present success, be success. It'd be a mite tricky for anyone to swipe something when I'm standing right here. Nothing gets past these peepers. Sprats again. Must be after the crunch. Please wait here. This'll just take a moment. No sign of them sprats, thank law. Back out. Be there in a moment.
swear. Takes all sorts.
Yet you see fit to keep me in a constant state of consternation. With each unauthorized act, you jeopardize our hold of Fairfield.
Yes, but you must understand, the Protectorate citizenry is a hair's breadth from defection. Within the week, I'm certain.
Certain. Like the week prior and the week before that. Impressive foresight you wield. Should apply to join the Order of the Ascendant.
It would be difficult enough to convert the stubborn populace without your soldiers' constant, ill-advised forays.
Enough! Your yipping reminds me of my two old canids. I loved those canids. You, on the other hand, are trying my patience. We don't want to try Auntie's patience, do we?
No, Auntie.
I thought not. Now, unless you care to see what life in the lower rungs looks like, you will both of you cease your foolish maneuvering immediately. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Auntie.
Good. See that it is done. I will brook no more disappointments. And while you're at it, you might want to look into your security situation, Commander. I'm not accustomed to an audience when addressing my subordinates.
Who is what? Eavesdropping on Auntie's choice business is like to get a body shot for spying. Though you're not wanting for moxie. I'll give you that.
Hold a moment, Car. An opportunity comes visiting. Perhaps it's better not to riddle it full of holes. Our new compatriot may be of assistance.
A surprisingly good point, especially from you. She only forbade us using our own personnel. Be a whole other matter were a stranger to happen to aid one of us. But which? Well, you seem an observant sort, so I expect you'll tire of Milver Street's bluster soon enough. Come see me before agreeing to whatever absurdity he proposes. Unlike him, I have some work actually befitting your time. I'll be waiting.
At last, I never thought she'd leave. Now then, allow me to introduce myself. I am D.B. Milver Street, Minister of Marketing, Duke of Demographics, Commercial Condottiere, President of Promotional Material. Tell me, do you believe in signs? Everything happens for a reason. Yes, I can see that kind of line working with our protectorate demographic. I do not believe in signs. I believe in opportunities. Right now, at this moment, you and I have an opportunity to save countless lives. But I'm hardly the type to beg and ask for nothing in return. Tell me, what do you desire of this island?
That? Absolutely not.
Is it a bad time to mention I can read lips? Ambitious, aren't we? Easily the best protected location on Paradise Island. Hardly a place for a stroll. But if you assist me, I promise to get you inside. Better yet, helping me shall result in our saving dozens, no, hundreds of lives. Your conscience shall be renewed. Auntie may demand Carr and I do nothing, but for each moment I remain inactive, dozens fall in meaningless combat. I seek a persuasive method of alleviating this conflict. The Protectorate utilizes a procedure known as mental refreshment to ease the temperament of wayward subjects. The Ministry of Accuracy contains vital information about the process and where it is performed. This is the prize I seek. I previously sent a grafted soldier, Trooper Sealong, to retrieve said information, but I have not heard from her in some time. Consequently, I must presume the worst. Grafted soldiers were the subjects of the Enhanced Soldier Program, so named as its intent was to utilize nature to enhance a soldier's natural talents. Unfortunately, the program resulted in many casualties, and what few successes we had were literally short-lived. I may be a motivator of persons, but I'm also something of a realist. Our grafted soldiers are capable at their apex, but many degrade before accomplishing themselves. I chose Trooper Sealong to grant her the opportunity to be of use, but the grafting program was shuttered with good reason. Best to be thorough. Protectorate subjects willingly submit themselves to a kind of mental reset designed to bring them closer to the Protectorate ideal. But I have reason to believe that their system is less rigid than Protectorate leadership would claim. It's ripe for exploitation. Is there a more beautiful phrase? Yes, one additional word of warning. The good Commander Carr shall not take kindly to your working with me, though that is a bridge most worth burning in my estimate. An opportunity to attain my goals and stick my finger in Babylon's eye? Today's as grand as when I led in the performance department showing of Life of a Salesman. Find your way to the Ministry of Accuracy. And if Trooper Sealong is still alive, do send her back here to debrief. She's still contracted to us after all.
Watch yourself, friend.
Watch out for that Aunt Cleo. I know she don't look it, but she's more dangerous than she seems. Even the whole of Spacer's Choice couldn't outmaneuver her.
Well, if it ain't DB Milver Street's newest sycophant. I'm Officer Babylon Carr, and you can consider that introduction the start and end of our personable relationship. If you'd spoken with me like I suggested, mayhaps the two of us could bandy words, but you didn't. And taking sides with Milver Street means I got no use for you.
Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just pills and an ointment away.
Whoever took down our anti-hologram is a traitor of the highest order. Makes me wonder if he's still
May I have a word, Commander? I know I'm pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. Avoid it. I'm just gonna ask. You remember that doctor I mentioned? One saved my life after Horizon Point? Well, I've heard he's here on the island, holed up somewhere on the outskirts of Westport. Tracked him to Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit? Brief one, of course. I'm being serious here, Commander. Could you try doing the same? I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Likely not. We didn't exactly leave off in a good way. Traded some hard words over promises I made and ought not have. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the Protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Wasn't like I didn't want to take things farther, hit the Protectorate where it hurt. But I still had my cover to think of too. I couldn't risk disrupting the mission. I feel better about that commendation if things hadn't turned out as they did. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Wouldn't have expected you to see it that way, given all your talk of trusting no one and looking out for myself. But maybe we've both done some growing since then. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. If the Protectorate suspects someone of having an independent thought, they subject them to some kind of chemical brainwashing. And these folks who get refreshed, they come out less themselves than before. More agreeable-like. That's if their mind ain't destroyed altogether. I don't know how it affected Zeb, but it's high past time I found out. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
your daily supplements 3 days in a row. Vitamins are a vital tool in aiding wound healing. Healing and achieving your long-term health goals.
We've talked about this, Val. Ain't polite airing folks' private health information in front of others.
If oral capsules are not your preferred delivery method, suppositories may be a viable alternative.
All right. I'll take the damn supplements. The normal ones. And maybe I'll examine your courtesy settings while I'm at it.
Engaging combat protocols.
get it charged.
Somewhere on Paradise Island's going untouched by this war.
Engaging hostile life forms.
I'll take find maps over living in a surveillance state any day of the week.
Entering a confrontational state.
That was your son. Get over here before you get yourself killed.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. If the occasion calls for it. But I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and Raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Yeah? Well, I'm Trooper Silong. Inez, former combat medic, Enhanced Soldier Division. Now just a menial troubleshooter who looks to have gotten her job swept out from under her. They're always counting me out. Every single one of them. And now, they ain't even letting me finish the jobs they send me on. Kinda making it hard to prove myself here. And this rep didn't even have anything that could help my graft. This whole thing's a wash. Sick of it. Oh, I ain't blaming you. It's part of climbing the ladder. Ain't but one rung at the bottom, and everyone's keen to get a foothold. Can't exactly afford to be picky about the jobs that come my way neither, considering my condition. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Other than punch a hole in my armor, cause Huel at the saloon to yell in consternation, not much, at present. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. But they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies. And I wasn't always with Auntie's choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Anyhow, think I'll return to Fairfield to have a little chat with Milver Street. Good luck in there. Mind the raps.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's choice.
Engaging combat protocols.
sure wouldn't want this in the wrong hands. So it's probably Wilford Street's after.
can't believe some of those Protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Yeah, let them simmer in their cells for a spell. Less able bodies muscling in on our contracts.
Just got mine stamped and signed. Officially on the payroll for another 78 days. Including today. Not that I'm counting.
Takes all sorts.
Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what ails you.
Air on this planet's strange. No stimulant gases. Don't like it.
We're currently experiencing
Arm's already
longer
feeling
than
better
normal
by
waiting
leaps and
times.
bounds.
For expedited treatment, please
Consume in peace, and we won't have a problem.
Take this admonishment with all the professional affection a physician can legally administer. In future, you might consider moving away from bullets instead of into them.
But without my leg, how am I going to climb the ranks?
Literally, probably not very dexterously. Metaphorically, well, that depends on your own initiative, doesn't it? Excuse me, I'm in the middle of a private consultation.
Say, how sore are my pockets going to be after all this talk? Don't suppose there's a discount for only taking a portion of the leg?
I'm not running a charity. If you desire full treatment, you'll pay full cost. If that's a problem, seek compensation from your commanding officer. A kind, if naive, offer. Unless you have thousands of bits to burn, any amount you could provide would be a drop in the tank at best. My services do not come cheaply.
This is a mighty big decision, Doc. Can I have a moment to noodle on it?
I don't encourage delays, but very well. It'll take a few minutes for me to warm up the saw anyway. Short of you skipping back in time and ordering the coagulant I need, I doubt anything can be done to... I am a doctor, not a magician. I cannot manufacture coagulant from the aether, neither do I possess the special training to improvise with what supplies I have on hand. Now, was there anything else? Some. Most still tout the all-healing nature of Protectorate medicine. But despite that, they're surprisingly amenable to accepting treatment.
Ain't grown up with the right to dissent. Probably wouldn't even occur to them to turn down poison you told them to take it.
Good thing I don't prescribe poison then. Normally. Truth, I expected more resistance given...
Take this terminal and trash it. That's it. I need a smoke. If you're about to blast me about fixing that void-forsaken terminal, it'll have to wait. I'm entitled to a break like anyone else. It's in my contract. I triple-checked. I'm a technician. I've been getting pressure from folks up top to deploy these Protectorate drones to the military camp on behalf of Auntie's Choice. The drones are ready to launch. All that he's doing is fixing their targeting priorities so they mark us as friendlies. But I can't breach the terminal's security protocols. Drones are only as dangerous as their programming. But it's a moot point anyway. These ones ain't gonna shift on their own anytime soon. And that there's a problem. I know it probably seems like we're up to our ducks in troops, but half of them are ex-Protectorate trainees who can't tell the business end of a rifle. We need these drones. What? Oh, yeah. Must have gotten jammed in there prior to the liberation. Truth be told, I'd forgotten about it. What with all the trouble this terminal's been giving me. If I can get these drones launched, you're welcome to help yourself. Guessing that means you're flat out of ideas? Figures. Not that I need the help of some Protectorate townie, understand, but... I might have heard my predecessor was odd-jobbing it around town these days. Magnus, I think his name was. A fellow drone operator like him would have some insight into all this perplexity.
People think I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind.
Our target audience here is people who... Well, you look thirsty. Oh, right. What'll it be, stranger? All right.
There is a 98.7% chance that hunting Agent DeVries will require greater amounts of ammunition than you currently possess. Ammunition can be purchased at vending machines.
I can also help you craft items in a pinch when we're out together. Most won't even explode on you.
I much appreciate you undermining my work, Minister. When have I ever not made a go of a job for you, huh? Is it so damn hard to extend a mind of trust?
Calm down. You know well it would not have been necessary had you completed your task in a timely manner.
I'll calm down when you stop bringing your little excuses. How about that?
My, such aggression. Scarcely need add hostility to your missing inadequacies.
So sure you want to work for this imbecile friend. There's more menial jobs where that came.
Trooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! Pleased that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now. That's surely the most tempting offer I've heard all day.
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death the preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit!
What? I have done nothing to deserve such barbaric treatment. This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say, but Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. If you're serious about that job offer, come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision, most assuredly. Now, if you're quite finished urging others to assault my headwear, let's move on. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in West. Worry not, the culmination of my plan will bring me the tools to aid you in your endeavor to enter the Vox station. Westport is a shell of the bustling town it was prior to the invasion, though a handful of Protectorate Yeasayers still cling to it. My plan requires their conversion. I forget myself. I didn't mean to impose. You've already agreed to much. It's been a long time since I've encountered someone able to operate on their own. Do return if you're interested in another task, however. Pardon me for being preoccupied. I've got Westport on my mind. All those some faint recollections of the fuzz. The record room is in this building. You have my permission. I knew you'd come back once you'd had a little time to ruminate. Now, converting Westport's subjects will teach us much about the Protectorate mind. How it solves problems, what it desires, how it can be swayed. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry. The choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Perhaps. The kit contains a wide variety of tools, propaganda, equipment, and more than a few confectionaries. Some items may serve as honey, swaying the Yeasayers to our side. Others are blunt implements, crippling infrastructure to force the refugees toward Fairfield. Slather on a bit of elbow grease and you'll certainly succeed. I'm sure there are kindred spirits in Westport. No one wholly resists Ante. Westport represents a challenge. The challenge presented by the majority of the Protectorate. Fairfield citizenry were given ample incentive to fold, for they could see the freedom we offer firsthand. But the people of Westport are stubborn enough to risk death for their ideals and cannot be swayed by the lights of Fairfield. If I can convert them, I can convert anyone. Shh, not so loud. The hat can tell when you're questioning it. The people of Westport don't trust me. How can they? I am the enemy. I am the invader. I cannot help these people achieve salvation until I know what it is they yearn for. You are a third party. You're presumably trustworthy. I need you to act on my behalf. I say if the situation is serendipitous, so much the better. Excellent. Here's the kit. Advertisement tapes, ambidextrine, assorted stimulants, free samples of Purple Berry Crunch, everything you need to wage war on the undecided mind. With that, I shall mark the locale. Begin with the vigilant Hogarth. Motivate him to depart, and his subjects will trot in file behind him, woolly cow-like. Now, I'm sure you've asked yourself, for a task so involved, shall the reward be worthwhile? Well, wonder no longer. For the completion of this deed, I'm prepared to offer you an exact replica of my one-of-a-kind, limited production, gentle person's Oxonian. I don't think you understand. The reserve Oxonian is functionally identical to the one I wear. If anything, the replica is likely in better state. I've grown attached to this one and would prefer not to part with it. And really, is anything truly one of a kind? Not from the universal perspective. Very well. I can see you won't be swayed. You succeed in the conversion of Westport, and I will supply you my limited production gentle person's Oxonian. If I must. Then consider yourself officially deputized in the war to further innovation and the free market. Be forewarned. I can only guess at the needs of the denizens of Westport. You must engage with them, gauge their situation. Only then can you motivate them adequately. While I can't say for certain, I strongly suspect not. Westport no longer possesses any strategic value. The Protectorate has no reason to defend a half-sunken town. Still, I would come prepared with anything you think you might require. Paradise Island brims with danger, even if Westport itself seems safe. Do I look like Officer Carr to you? Guns. I suppose I should take this time to make peace with its departure. Oh, so many grand times shared with this hat.
All done in there? Was hoping we could chat. Hope that little dust up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. I'd like to take you up on your offer, if you're good for it. You're going places. Could be I'm keen on heading that direction myself. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's Choice. I can be on my own for a time, but I'd rather it not be permanent. Besides, where else can I turn from nothing to something? I know you're making fun, but I fully intend to stand in front of Auntie and show just how much I made her proud. You know, once the graft is sorted out. I get it. You're skeptical. If you got more questions, go on and ask them. You'll not find me hiding anything in the fine print. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mind the ship.
Acknowledged.
After you. Appreciate you agreeing to help, but the arm's itching something fierce. Ready to do away with it. We ought to head to Doc Tinsley's, quickly if we can. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander? How personal are we talking? Couldn't say. I was in it all of 2 days before my graft started festering. Before that, I was an infantry medic. Our platoon was one of the first to touch down in Arcadia. I would have continued serving on the front line in an upgraded capacity, but, well, once the state of my graft became apparent, it was decided that parting ways would be best. My commanding officer, and the surgeon who performed the operation, I imagine. I wasn't lucid at the time. When I regained consciousness, I saw that my service pistol was gone, and a termination notice was in its place. I put 2 and 2 together. Law, that was a bad morning. Look, I knew dismissal was a possibility when I volunteered for the procedure. A successful graft is a boon, a failed one is a colossal liability. I'm a walking lesson in breakage. Oh, that information is outside my purview. I miss my platoon. Most of the time. I hope they're holding on okay wherever they are. Huh. If nothing else, they'll have Ortiz to keep up morale. I know the nonstop jokes from that bastard sustained me for weeks. Yeah, he's tough. He'll be all right. Of course I do. Can't help but wonder if I'm missed in return. Anyhow, I would rather return to the matter at hand. No use dwelling on those out of sight and... Right. Like ain't the word I'd use, even before I was itching to tear up my contract and set it aflame. Auntie gave me autonomy, gave me the choice to do more than just struggle to survive. They treated me better than my last employers did, and despite recent events, I believe in their mission. We can give folk here in Arcadia a better life. What? Did you think I was born into it? How else do you grow a corporation to this size without doing outside recruiting? Take a look at what most systems offer and what Auntie's Choice provides. Do the math. I'm just one of many who welcomed the chance to enlist with open arms. Of course, going from a life lived in squalor to one that rewards you on merit, it would send anyone's mind spinning. Now, do I got qualms with Auntie? Sure, but I'll tell you what. When she overthrew those Spacer's Choice bastards in Tau Ceti, my home system, that takeover was the best thing that ever happened to us. Fine by me? Well, like I said, we were both in the same unit. Me as a combat medic, him as a machine gunner. Everyone in my unit was from Tau Ceti, so we already had that in common. And we served on the front lines, which made us look out for one another that much more. See, most of us were laborers, and we just got our first real shot at something greater. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, and what better way to do that than become a hero? Our onboarders promised that if we demonstrated exceptionalism, showed initiative, that we'd get promoted quick. It ain't like they forced us to join up. We did that on our own, and it said in our contract that they could send us wherever we were needed. Can't complain if where we're needed is in a trench staring down the barrels of a minigun. I reckon that's a difference in perspective. We spent a week crouched in the same foxhole under aerial bombardment. Shared water one sip at a time by the end of it. Anyone would have been friends after that. I don't know if I would have made it out alive without him. Maybe I'll tell him that over a beer one day. Praise him in front of the whole saloon. Law knows he's got a thing for heroics. Better than I'd feared. Only had to bury 2 troopers and amputate 5 limbs. I'm thankful every day that the Protectorate can't aim for shit. He kept me clear-headed. Every so often there'd be a lull in the bombardments and I'd hear voices all across the field, calling out for aid, for mama, for death. Almost got my head clean taken off when I tried to scramble out of the foxhole the first night. I heard a call for help and moved on instinct. Damn foolish of me, really. Ortiz told me not to panic, to wait till he could provide cover, to just shout first aid instructions where I could. It was too valuable to fall in battle, he said. It was a rough few nights at first, knowing I couldn't help folk who needed it. And the reward for that torment was my life. I appreciate that, Commander. In any case, I'm only standing here because of a damn fine soldier who became my friend. I'll carry that knowledge always.
Hot, fresh blood in the town.
again. Was there something you... Oh, Inez! You look, well, like you could use an ice bath and a cup of newly formulated trip teas. Has something happened?
Something has, all right. I ended my contract effective immediately. Now I'm free to prove myself to everyone in Auntie's Choice. My way.
Well, that's wonderful news. Or is it? I admit I'm still trying to work through what contracts mean hereabouts. But you do appear to be pleased, so I shall be pleased for you. Ah, that is not common knowledge in this town. But since Inez appears to trust you, I suppose I can do the same. Before I began my new illustrious career working with our tame, scarily friends here, I was a researcher in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Oh, I was on the verge of breakthrough when they shut us down. Oh, when I think of the lives I could have reached. But in my current role, I do try to help where I can.
Where my own first aid training can't reach, Doc's got me covered. The graft knocked me on my ass for weeks when I first got it. But she nursed me back to health.
Would if I could have done more. Right. I have a lead, Inez. I've identified 2 viable beasts on this island that you may be compatible with. Though it may not be easy to acquire the suitable specimens. The first candidate is the skeleton crabble. It has a rare form of albinism and was last spotted on the western coast by Protectorate scientists, who, unfortunately, went missing. I happened upon an old report of theirs along with a code used to operate their machinery. If their fate is what I suspect, the code may be of use to you.
I heard rumors of the creature myself. Our skeleton sounds a good bit larger than the average crabble. Meaner and smarter, too.
The second candidate is a Raptidon matriarch, the only one of her kind on the island as I understand it. She was last spotted in the crags near the Vox Relay.
Deep in Protectorate territory. This matriarch sure ain't making it easy for us. She'll be more aggressive and more cunning than her smaller kin.
I suggest avoiding the front gate. But you may have luck finding a drainage outlet in our matriarch's cave. The Protectorate often build them in this manner and leave them unguarded. When you breach the matriarch's lair, you must rouse her from hibernation. I found pheromones to be quite effective. Inez, I'm certain you know a formula that may suffice.
That I do.
Excellent. It'll be a rather unpleasant wake-up call for the matriarch, so she'll be upon you in moments. I suggest your armaments be at the ready. Then the grafting part is yours. I can assure you my research is sound, and I am not at all like the last surgeon who performed on Inez. I take pride in my work. Now, when you acquire one or both of these parts, return here straight away, and we can begin surgery. Matriarch, Law guide you both out there.
I subjected it to a large amount of N-rays, then hit it with the hammer. There. Welcome to my little slice of paradise in paradise. I didn't hear you come in. I'm focused something fierce on my current project, you see. Well, aren't you the observant one? Like I was saying, friend, this here crabble egg is gonna make me... You know what else has all those things? Skip drives. Basically there, I just need to figure out the process of turning the eggs into skip drives. Oh, wow, really? Everyone else told me I was mad. I really appreciate your words of encouragement, friend. I'll make sure you get one of the very first crabble-based skip drive. Please take this as a small thank you. It is? Fascinating. Did you see any unusual behavior? Any changes in crabble familial dynamics? Or the emergence of any new evolutionary traits? That is a physical impossibility. They lack the opposable thumbs necessary to sign paperwork. In this lab, we only deal with the cold, hard facts of science. Unless they also just evolved opposable thumbs. Evolution and familial changes in one go. This is so exciting. Once I finish this experiment, I'll head out to see for myself. Oh, and please take this with you. Just a small thank you for providing me with such exciting and useful information.
big, dark cavern ahead. Seems likely we'll find Crabbles hereabouts.
This thing's making my blood run cold. More than usual, I mean. Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Hey! Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. Maybe we're using sound to lure the Krabbels out. Let's see. Generators back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play.
And what am I supposed to do? Just stand around and look pretty?
Well, if the commander's keen to share, you can press the button too. Wouldn't want you feeling left out. We pulled a good harvest. Doc Tinsley's going to be pleased. But if we could hunt for the other beast before bringing this specimen back to her, I'd be much obliged.
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly. Pal? Are you breathing? Say something!
Allah, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? Damn. Well, that draws an end to both our hopes for those boots and our association with poor Jackson. He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. Not nearly as upset as we are. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I admit it looks bad, but please don't tell me you're filing a complaint. I didn't ask for these Protectorate sods. They were assigned to me.
That's unnecessarily hurtful. But I understand why you're lashing out.
No. I mean, yes. Well, maybe. Probably. I'm fairly sure Jackson thought the boots would work. A mistake likely inspired by misbegotten faith in his old way of life. But Ida... I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly! Because he had no idea how science works and thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So when I told him to jump, he opted for open air instead of where I told him to go. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they could give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault. What? But that doesn't make any... Look, are you gonna help us or not?
Oh, thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life, utterly absent of starvation. His choice and the Protectorate got a difference in opinion. The Protectorate believe they can't be bloodied. We think otherwise. Got something that needs doing, Commander?
A right shifty-looking individual, if you ask me.
You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
So, the platform still works? That's amazing! Not that we'll be going up in it again. For that, you deserve a little extra on top of your urgently improvised extortive rate. Thank you again for all your help.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. Ah, I see you've discovered some of my misappropriated materials. Careful labeling proves prudent and useful yet again. Here, for your effort. A whole set of Science Adventures Quarterly was stolen from me and sold to various unknown parties across the island. Since you've already proven adept at their repossession, I would put it to you to locate the rest. Form of manipulatory ideation disguised as popular entertainment, intended to sway the audience to their point of view, couched within just a crackingly exciting narrative. Specifically, an Earth Directorate periodical featuring beloved fictional characters Commander Zane and Buddy. An effective mental conditioning device. And right thrilling. Sources placed them briefly in the hands of sub-Rosa black marketeers. Yet who sold the materials to them or where they went afterward remains a mystery. The line represented a growth of the medium from the less sophisticated 2-bit dreadful, both in style and effectiveness. Its remarkable popularity not only mirrored a rise in public sentiment against greedy corporations and tyrannical governments across colonies. The brief window surrounding the volume's release saw a marked increase in skip drone requests for Earth Directorate aid. I believe there remains much to learn from them. I'll admit Commander Zane and Buddy's exploits make for a sensational read. They saved Carnifeller's brain, for instance. Oh, and Mammon Incorporated, of course, too. So no, I am not immune to their considerable charms, but my interests in recovering them are strictly professional. I can assure you. Ah, quite right. In fact, delightful. I am pleased you are on the case, as it were. So very Zane and Buddy. Return again when you have another 4 volumes, and I will trade them for more valuable oddities. Safety, ante, and ease be yours.
closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded.
I may be deluded, but you're lucky you ain't dead. Seeing how she seems partial to using her friends as victims.
Does she? It occurs to me that you have provided no proof of what you're accusing her of.
Why don't you take a long look at me? This is all because she betrayed us. Her team, her friends, even the one whose life she saved in Triangulum.
By the architect. You're Niles, aren't you? She mentioned you a few times, but refused to elaborate. All I knew was that she was fond of you, and that you were dead.
She was fond of me? Then why? Why would she try to kill me?
I can't say, but it may be one of the things she anguished over. An anguish I fear finally overwhelmed her, and could likely be what's driven her to her present course of action. I wish I knew. It's nothing good, I can tell you that. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. We became friends when she... Well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. They all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much. At least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about...
She's the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. Yes, and I am shamed to admit it. Though if she hadn't wanted me to, she wouldn't have told me the code. Same one she used for everything. 15-778.
That sounds like it could be her agent identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. It was a code she used for everything. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe using that code. Was hoping she'd left me something, but it was empty. She did say once it had some meaning from her previous life. Beyond that, I don't know.
That sounds like it could be her agent identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That and the invasion itself set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
Raptidon Den. These beasts have exhibited excessive irritability as of late. We endeavor to determine why. Surely the red spores aren't to blame. Wind-borne spores lack the catalytic agent of our food additives. Only way to be certain is to gather a stool sample. Simple enough. A routine task for the Audacious Advances field team. Right now, as we approach the rap's nest, certainly the spirited variety will offer... No! Oh, okay. We need to run now!
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and
Well,
manipulative
at least it's not shooting the water anymore. Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile.
Hogarth. Milver Street reckons he's the key to converting this town. Let's bring him the good news of Auntie's choice, shall we?
Do hate to come off impolite. If you're so inclined, we can pick this up later, after you two confabulate. We're the wise. Despite what you might hear, we still consider ourselves part of the Protectorate. Anyone spots an outsider engaging in misdeeds might just open fire.
Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history...
I had a nightmare that the matriarch didn't gift us the paradigm, and we were left to scramble for purpose and profit like Auntie's workers.
Of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradise offers. A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have
Did you hear? They're letting anyone who wants to train at the Arbitrary.
We're to spend our lives in a predetermined profession.
That's why it's the sovereign to let us become tiny cogs in the Great War Machine.
We're all in this
I've
together.
inhaled so much dust and debris.
Processing anomalous data. Hostile detected.
This looks like the place. Oh, I haven't felt this high-strung since Horizon Point. Just hope he's here. Zeb. You look... well.
Always put your hands on other people's things. Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say, you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters. And who precisely are you? Another Earth Directorate cast-off? Is that a jest?
Bring that boil down to a simmer, Zeb. This is my commander, one who was with me at Horizon Point.
So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine.
Hang fire, Commander. Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Bates. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting...
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Fuck! It's all coming apart.
I knew something was wrong. What have you gotten yourself into here, Zeb?
That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please. It has to do with the location of a vault rumored to house the Protectorate's greatest technological advancements, including its skip drive designs. That's all I'll say for now.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
Then let's hope the ship also takes its time arriving, and that my friend's pain threshold withstands any attempts to soften them up for the consul. I'll answer what I can. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct, and she was taken to be refreshed. I never heard what her alleged crime was meant to be. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look into what had happened, the more discomfort I felt. Then I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so small, claustrophobic, repressive. And my smoldering resentments became a full conflagration. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds. The Crabbles? They keep people away who might otherwise stumble into my operation here. I feel kindly toward them. Of course. Hogarth and his unfortunate charges would be top of mind if you've explored the nearby settlement. I sympathize with the plight of those in Westport. They want nothing to do with me, of course, or anyone outside the Sovereign's grace, which has been to my benefit. I do believe that one day, the truth of the Protector's iniquity will be too obvious to ignore. But for now, not even a crowbar could pry open all those shut eyes.
Trust plan, reserve set progress, sustain the system.
Wireless told me that I'm happy and everything's splendid. I was tempted to feel sad after the ocean flooded my house.
Invasive species most robust ecosystem, like those raptidons, base individualists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep informing on your neighbors. Yeah.
Nice weather we have been having. Not goodbye.
Well, it's infected. Redstone arrives soon, we'll have to start cutting. You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. You haven't heard? When Antes invaded, they broke the seawall, flooded nearly half the town below, where most of the domiciles were. A number of our subjects drowned. Others got concussed, or even crushed. A few were electrocuted or exposed to caustics. Took a while for our water purifier to catch up, so some drank tainted water, which is not good for you at all. I'm glad it's working again. Don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? No, thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I have enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
Extra parts aren't side effects. That's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Honestly? Well, I'm a reasonable judge of character, and you seem upright. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? They'd sell to us? Those medicaments you gave us before? No, never. You must think me easily hoodwinked. Our societies are sworn enemies. You almost make that sound reasonable, under a highly skewed, morally vacuous light. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. If you're sure it'll retain its efficacy, that might just do the trick. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty, and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. All right, be careful out there.
Stay true, outsider. Realigned with the paradigm.
Each a vital cog. Each a vital cog.
As the Sovereign said, I wish I could program an automech to feel these feelings I'm feeling. You know,
Stranger?
instead.
I wish everyone's neighbor Prudence was my actual neighbor. Except my domicile is presently underwater.
refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Hello. Come here often. Goodbye. This unit, enjoy our banter.
We are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared...
It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to protectorate excellence. Now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please, let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance. And that would be worse than what we've already endured? We are better than they. And I, for one, refuse to give Auntie and her ilk the pleasure of compromising our pride. Our society was built from the bedrock up, through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all. Unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves. Obviously, there was some sort of betrayal from within. Even a perfect society has its malcontents, and selfish consumerism is an alluring drug for weak minds. But consider all we've achieved that others have not. Why, we've even eradicated manual labor through our perfection of auto mechanicals. Can aunties claim such?
You are the raw material for perfection.
I will not speak of them. I dislike even doing so indirectly. That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence, auto mech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the Arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Ground. If the Protectorate wanted to do right by you, you wouldn't be starving and wallowing in this metal quagmire. You want to help your people? Go to Fairfield.
Fairfield? Why, they're the reason we're in this mess. You'll forgive me for questioning such timely offers of generosity and kindness. No thank you, not interested. I owe it to every single person here to try.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality.
What sort of payment do you seek? Don't imagine we have much you need. Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask? I don't know what an Earth Directorate is, and I thought we were past the need for being coy, but fine. I'll extend you my trust as a show of good faith. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in. Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them.
To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here. Farewell now.
The paradigm affords us a perfect life of contentment and
Apologies, this unit's conversation module is functioning intermittently.
recreation. We